Matt, it's great to see you. So let's just take a step back, because when we take a look at these econ data reports, a lot of times we're looking at the market's reaction. And when they are better than expected, we're actually seeing maybe some pressure in the equity markets. That doesn't seem to be the case today. What do you think is going on and really driving today's action?
Well, I mean, one of the things, of course, is that people have been starting to worry a little bit about the consumer and how strong the consumer is. So this number, I mean, it's funny because when interest rates go down, people say that's good, and frequently it is. But we don't want it to be a sign that the economy is slowing. It's one thing for interest rates to go down because inflation is coming down, but it's a whole nother thing if it's starting to show that we're headed towards a recession or even just a meaningful slowdown in economic growth. So I think that's why we're seeing a pickup today. But those numbers they're okay, they're not great. I mean, and you look at what happened with Bank of America this morning, talking about the net charge-offs have been increasing there. So it's still somewhat of a mixed signals we have here on the consumer.
And so if we're thinking about how this consumer could define not just the rest of this earnings period, but potentially the time period for companies leading up even into the fourth quarter, as we're thinking about what that holds, which is a general election where more consumers, and this has started to shift the consumer sentiment a little bit, what their projections are, or what their optimism is around that particular event, and how that may curtail their spending. How do you kind of game out what the trend of the consumer might look like going into and even in the latter portions of this year?
Well, I mean, one of the things that needless to say, the consumer is so incredibly important, 70% of our economy. And, I hate to say it, but things have been kind of trending in the wrong direction, even though these numbers were pretty good today. I mean, we know all about how, high the credit card, the credit card debt is. But now, more recently, we're seeing the delinquency rates on that starting to pick up. We're seeing that also in auto loan delinquencies. Same with overall consumer debt delinquencies. So that's a big concern. But as you state with the whole thing with earnings, it's going to be really, really important that not only does these S&P companies or overall companies beat expectations. Let's face it, they always beat expectations. At least, well over 70% beat expectations every time. But what's their guidance going to be? Is it going to continue to move up? Because it really has to, because we're at a stock market trading at 23 times earnings. It's going to be tough if we don't see future earnings forecasts pick up to kind of bring that PE ratio down a little bit.
Matt, I'm curious just what you've made of the reaction that we've seen to the latest developments on the political spectrum when it comes to the jump that we did see in yields. Yields obviously reading a potential Trump presidency as the fact that maybe we will see an increase in spending. We're having more and more focus on the fiscal side of things in that debate. Has that movement been a bit surprising to you, and why?
Well, it has been. Now, it certainly has been the narrative over the last couple of weeks that if Trump were to win, that fiscal spending would pick up more. But, I think if we're honest with ourselves, we see that both parties haven't been particularly good on the fiscal side of things. I mean, they're spending money hand over fist. And so this is a concern for me, but I don't know if it's that much more of a concern if Donald Trump becomes president rather than Biden. And we also have to wonder, I must admit, Sunday we were, everybody was talking about on the political side of things that, Biden's going to be the nominee. We're not this, obviously what happened over the weekend was a tragedy on Saturday. But thankfully, somebody did lose their life, which I'm sorry to say. But my point is that boy, the pundits last night, I was surfing around the political cable networks last night. A lot of the pundits are really starting to worry about Biden very quickly. So we could see a lot of uncertainty still in that marketplace coming to on the political side of things.
All right. Matt Maley, who is the Miller Tabak Managing Director and Equity Strategist. Matt, thanks so much for taking some time here just after the bell this morning.
Thank you.